Hey everybody, welcome to Square State. I am your host, Michelle Jackson, and today I am doing a letter, reading, if you will, a letter to Governor Polis. This episode is sponsored by the Money on the Mountain Retreat. It's a financial retreat for financially single women. For women, not just in the state of Colorado, but beyond. We have a attendee coming from Canada. So excited. The early bird tickets are ending soon. So make sure you get your tickets. You'll go to the show notes, which is squarestateco.com/Dear Governor. Also, if you're looking to move to Colorado, grab your epic guide to moving to Colorado today. Again, you can access that in the show notes, so check them out. So I actually ended up re-recording this freaking episode, but for a very good reason. I'll share why as I go through the letter. And this is a second in a series of letters that I am sharing with the state. The first one was to Mayor Hancock. This one now is to Governor Polis. The third will be to our state's representatives. And then finally, the fourth one will be I don't know why I kind of sounded like I said P, will be to the citizens of the state. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. So please enjoy. If you like or dislike it, that's cool. Let me know. You can email me at squarestateco@gmail.com. So, dear Governor Polis, congratulations on your recent gubernatorial win. Well, it's not so recent anymore. And after everyone, finished making a big deal that you're gay, it was awesome to see you redefine the conversation and refocus citizens on the fact that you're running the state. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you're gay. First, though, I would like to begin with what is going well. And so far, I really like what I see. I love that you signed the all-day kindergarten bill into law. And even though I would have preferred that it maybe be mandated, I completely understand why you felt it was important to give districts a way to opt out, recognizing that this is even though for many of us, we feel like this is an obvious yes, this is not an obvious yes for everyone. And by saying you can opt out, you're respecting their choice, which I think in a state like Colorado, where libertarianism came out of, that's important. I am thrilled that you capped insulin at $100 per month in terms of spend. I know many diabetics, and it is insane that they are being bankrupted because they're sick, because they can't keep up with the rising costs of the medicine that will keep them healthy and well. So thank you for capping that at $100 per month in terms of what they can be charged for their supply. That's so freaking awesome. I also love kicking big pharma in the metaphorical nuts, or basically their wallets. And I really enjoyed your decision to reroute the highway around the newly designated Memorial Rock, saving the state money, which I'm always about. And that was a kind of a bold move. I need to check that big ass rock out, by the way, on my next drive through the mountains. Here's what I would like to see moving forward. This is something I keep bitching about, by the way, and it's making me crazy. I want to see better access to the mountains via public transportation. I love, love, love bus staying, but I'm convinced that we could increase service at least during the summer and winter months and keep things at regular service rates or ranges, if you will, during the fall and spring. I feel like the amount of service provided, we could do more with just bus staying. So maybe we could find some money to do that. This is still transportation related. For the love of all that is holy, we have got to figure out a way to pay for our roads. I know that the Tabor Amendment has placed a lot of constraints on us and we have to approve everything, but we've got to figure this out. And as a side note, one of the roads that I most enjoy driving on is actually US 36. So maybe there's something to consider in terms of additional public-private transit partnerships. Something to think about. Healthcare is mad expensive, like come on, especially on the Western Slope and beyond. I feel like we need to approach this issue of providing healthcare for our citizens with innovation versus regulation. Do we need roving healthcare vans staffed with doctors and physician assistants who are focused on preventative care? Like, there's got to be something that we can do to make sure that people feel like they can get the care that they need despite living in random places throughout the state or smaller towns throughout the state or on the other side of the mountains versus Denver. It's ridiculous. We've got to figure this out. I would really encourage you to date the state. And by that, what I mean is literally that, date the state. Hanging out in different parts of the state, different corners of the state for extended periods of time so that people could actually get to know, like, and trust you. You're very welcome to take this idea and run with it. Just give me a shout out. That'd be great for my downloads. And I think that you will get a lot of value out of, staying in a town for a week and meeting the mayors and breaking bread with people at their tables and playing, I don't know, baseball or softball with the local softball team. My point is, I think a lot of times governors are tasked with this huge job and they're working hard and they're typically in the state's capital, which in this case is obviously Denver. But Colorado is interesting in that we have a lot of rural citizens who are awesome, amazing people who feel like they're not being heard. So let's listen to that and put ourselves out there to make that happen. And by that, what I mean is you need to go to where they are. So food for thought, you need to date the state. By the way, housing is insane. I'm not sure what can be done about this, but we have got to figure out how to build more affordable housing units versus the surplus of luxury housing units being built all the time. In fact, I have recently decided to sell my condo. This was like kind of a quick, random, crazy decision. And I am now looking to rent. I lived in my condo for 11 years, so it's a big deal for me. And I am really annoyed actually at the lack of choice in terms of what I can rent. And everything's basically charging the same. So if you have, this is why millennials don't understand real life, because they graduate and they live in a luxury apartment. And honestly, I don't understand how they afford the luxury apartment. I'm still trying to figure this out, but that's a whole nother conversation. Anywho, my point is housing's crazy expensive. It's really annoying that everything is a luxury option. And for some of us, we're like, we just want a cute apartment with wood floors. Is that so hard? And a nice kitchen and a tub and a washing machine and dryer inside. Other than that, is it so complicated? Apparently it is, but if you find me living in a luxury apartment, it's don't be shocked. Anywho, I would also like to say a huge kudos to you for speaking at the Western Conservative Summit. In fact, excuse me, my voice changed there. I actually re-recorded this episode because I heard that you were going to be doing this. I felt that it was so important to shout this out because one of my concerns about having any party in power is that they're not listening to the other party. I don't care that you don't like what they have to say. I do care that in a functioning democracy, keyword functioning, we've got to have dialogue and conversation between one another. And one of the things I'm concerned with here in our state is that even though we're very much able to push agendas depending on who's the majority in representing whichever party, that doesn't mean that we should cut off dialogue just because we can get our policies passed. We still should listen to what the other side has to say. And if possible, whenever possible, build into whatever we're trying to do their concerns, because they might actually be really valid. I'm a personal finance blogger, and a lot of times, even though I'm not always believing this currently, but whatever, a lot of times I think it's pretty reasonable to ask, how are we going to pay for things? That is not an unreasonable question. Giving time to answering that question is important. Whether or not you like who's asking it is irrelevant. It's still a good question, okay? So I want Colorado to show the nation that we're able to legislate ethically and with care about everyone in the state, and be comfortable showing how it's possible to have conversation with the other side, even when we don't agree. The state representatives, when I do your letter, I have some feedback for you. You might not like it, but it's important to hear. So anyway, I want Colorado to be better than the rest. I look forward to watching you, Governor Polis, do what you do as you represent this great square state, signed or spoken as an informed citizen. I'm watching. I'm excited to see what can happen. Again, date the state. Feel free to take this idea. Just shout me out so I can get downloads. And congratulations on your win. I'm very excited to see you as a trailblazer out there doing amazing things and representing this state. For those of you who have listened to the show, don't forget to grab your epic guide to moving to Colorado. It is, again, in the show notes. Go to squarestateco.com/Dear Governor.